Hello everyone, my name is Allison Seteono and I'm from INC, and today I will be presenting about COVID-19, also known as the 2019 coronavirus. COVID-19 is a spherical or pleomorphic enveloped particle containing single-stranded RNA. The average diameter of these virus particles are around 125 nanometers. They belong in the order of Nidovirales, the family of Coronaviridae, and the subfamily of Orthocoronavirinae. So how does the virus enter our body? The virus spreads through droplets in the air that can spread either by coughing or sneezing and enters our body either through the mouth, the nose, or the eyes. Once the virus enters the body, it spreads to the back of the nasal passage and the mucous membranes in the throat, where it attaches to the body's cell receptors. The viral particles hook onto the outer walls of the cell, where it hijacks the cell into making copies of the virus. The copies then proliferate and proceed to infect other cells in the body. One single cell can turn out to 1 million copies of the virus before it dies. So why is the virus a pathogen? A pathogen is a bacterium, virus, or a microorganism that causes a disease. SARS-CoV-2 is the virus that causes the disease that we all know, COVID-19. The disease that I have decided to compare to COVID-19 is the influenza virus. The influenza virus and COVID-19 have two similarities. One is that they have a similar disease presentation, which is that they both cause respiratory diseases. They're also transmitted through the same things, which are by contact, through droplets in the air, and through fomite transmissions. So now let us talk about the differences between the two viruses. There will be three differences that we will be discussing. The first difference is between the speed of transmission. COVID-19 spreads at a much faster rate than influenza does. The second difference is between the reproductive number, also known as the number of secondary infections from one infected individual. COVID-19 has a much higher reproductive number than influenza does. So what are the direct transmissions of COVID-19? COVID-19 can be transmitted through direct contact with an infected person. So now we will be discussing the indirect transmissions of the virus. The first transmission we will be talking about is droplet transmissions. Droplet transmissions occur when a person is in close contact with someone who has respiratory symptoms, such as coughing or sneezing. Indirect transmission can also occur through fomite transmission, which is through objects that are likely to carry the infection, such as doorknobs, tissues, and tablets. The virus can also transmit through infected surfaces because the virus stays viable on these surfaces from hours to days. So how does our body defend against COVID-19? The coronavirus is like any other virus. It needs a host cell to be able to replicate itself. Once the host cell is infected, the cell does what the virus commands it to: copy information, assemble it, and replicate it. But this does not go unnoticed. Within a few minutes, the body's immune system intervenes with the innate response. The granulocytes, the scavenger cells, and the killer cells in the blood and lymphatic system stream in to fight the virus. They are supported by numerous plasma proteins, which either help to act as messengers or help to destroy the virus. Global health crises such as this one usually grow out in phases. They usually begin with an outbreak, which is when there is a sudden significant rise in confirmed cases of a disease in a specific region, such as Wuhan. Then, once the virus proceeds to spread out of that community, it becomes an epidemic, just like how the novel coronavirus spread all throughout China. The epidemic then turns into a pandemic when the virus spreads outside of China and into multiple different countries. COVID-19 was expected to turn into a pandemic because of how fast spreading and infectious it was. So the program that we have come up with is called Masks for Money. How this program works is that you get a discounted price at any store you go to as long as you are wearing a mask. This can be either your favorite restaurant or your favorite shopping mall. I know that not everyone is able to stay at home at all times, either for work purposes or they just have things to do outside of their house. So what better than to ensure that everyone around us wears masks to eliminate the spread of the virus? Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video gave you lots of information about COVID-19, and I hope you can use that information so that we can help each other to stop spread the virus.